Welcome to Evident Proof. My name is Matt Roden. I'm the CTO of Evident. Today we're going to be running one of our scheduled twice weekly demos of the platform. What is Evident Proof? Evident Proof is a platform for storing immutable proof of data. So what do we mean by that? Well, organizations and enterprises and indeed individuals have data which they need to be able to store in an immutable way. So they need to be able to prove that that data was stored at that point in time in the way that they said it was, and that the data matches what they said it was. And this has many use cases. So Evident Proof is able to accept data via an API, store that data in an immutable, unhackable, untamperable, unchangeable way using blockchain technology, and then provide a certificate proving that that data was indeed stored the way that it was said to be at the time, etc. So how do you get started using Evident Proof? Well, as I mentioned, Evident Proof operates via an API. So when you have an account with the Evident Proof platform, you simply generate an API key. Once you have your API key, you can go and read the API documentation. It's a simple REST service, and you can get started submitting data to the Evident Proof platform straight away. So by data, what do we mean? Well, this could be transactional data, event data, ID data. It doesn't really matter. The point of the platform is that it can take any type of data and create immutable proof of that data. So we try and keep these demos under 10 minutes. So I'm gonna move on. We have many clients already using the platform. One of these clients is the largest supplier of taxi licensing solutions to the UK government, and effectively they provide the line of business application that local government within the UK use to generate taxi licenses, or most of the local government organisations within the UK. So why would it be important that a taxi license application process is stored in an immutable way? Well, only 3 or 4 months ago in the UK here, an article came out in The Guardian which said that 150,000 taxi licenses were issued in the UK last year to drivers with drink driving bans, criminal convictions, you name it, they had it. And then this company, which was not the company we deal with, is then in a position of proving that they did not issue the taxi licenses incorrectly, or their software did not issue the taxi licenses incorrectly. So did they perform the criminal record check? Did they check that the driving license was valid, and so on? And being able to prove that data after the fact with traditional databases is very hard, because traditional databases are not secure. So being able to show immutable proof of evidence of that data is an incredibly powerful thing when it comes to, for example, in this case, litigation scenarios. So our proof certificate can be taken to a court of law and will show immutable proof of evidence, hence Evident Proof. So we can't show you the entire line of business application from our client for obvious reasons. But what we've done is we've taken a skimmed down workflow to show how easy it is to use Evident. So we've taken just the basic principles of creating a taxi license without all the bells and whistles, and we've integrated it into the Evident Proof platform using the API. And so we're going to show you creating a taxi license and generating a proof certificate. So here's our skimmed down version of the application. Pretty noddy, but it's to demonstrate how this works. So create a new taxi license. Let's try desperately and find a name that I haven't typed before. James Timms. There we go. We're going to say that the license is going to be active. We've done a criminal record check. Now, this is a checkbox. Of course, this is not how the system works. In practice, a criminal record check would need to produce certain checks and balances to say that that's happened. So it might be a request and a response from a government agency or so on, or the police. And so that data can all be stored within this system. Driving license number, always the same. Right, there we go. Again, you would upload the driving license, the scan of the driving license, and so on. And identity check. Okay, fine. We're going to say they don't have any driving offences because we're going to give them a license. So let's create that taxi license. Let's go down to the bottom of this application. James Timms, there we go, license 73, great. So then we're going to go into the Evident Proof platform, and what has happened in the background is this data has been submitted to Evident Proof. We've created a proof seal. A proof seal is effectively a hash of your data. You cannot go from a proof seal back to the original source data, but you can go from the source data back to the proof seal to prove that the source data matches that seal, and this is how we create proof. So let's go and have a look at our proof seal. Okay, so here we go. We can see license 73, and we're going to talk through what this data format is. So when data is submitted to the Evident Proof platform, we expect the data to be submitted in a format called evidence. This is effectively an object with some properties called evidence. And we make this very clear in our consultation process to onboard onto the platform. So here we have our data. So what is a dispatch? Well, a dispatch is data sent in an API call to the platform. So effectively, this gets a dispatch. This is we're saying this data came into our platform. Where? Well, this could be an IP address or a geolocation. Largely, what's meaningful to you, not us. When is the timestamp of the data being received into our platform. Dispatch evidence. So here's our evidence we spoke about within the dispatch. So PSU XREF, what is that? Primary Service User Cross-Reference. This is a pretty long way of saying that we allow you to store some kind of key that relates back to your data. So this could be, as we've got here, a singular key, or it could be a compound key. It could be a serial number. It's really what's relevant, again, to your need of proof. A key, here I've got new license, okay, so it's not this can be various different things. And again, we can describe this better in a deep dive. If anyone wants to ask on Telegram, then we're happy to describe this format a bit better. It's also all in our technical white paper. Feel free to have a look. Value. Okay, so here you can see a JSON format for the data that we submitted to the platform. This could be a single word. It can be a JSON format representing an object like this. It can be the works of Shakespeare. It really doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is that we get a seal out the other side, which is always the same size. This seal is what we need to create immutable proof of your data. So this data was submitted to the platform successfully. Here's a receipt to show it's submitted. Here's a receipt ID. This is us giving you a receipt to say, yes, we have created immutable proof of your data. So then proof certificate. Well, what is a proof certificate? So I've stored data on the platform. Why do I need one of these? Well, at the point where you need to demonstrate the immutable proof, so the proof of the proof, if you like, then you'll need something to show. So a proof certificate effectively gives you all the information you need to be able to demonstrate this immutable proof of evidence. So let's create a proof certificate, and you can see I've sent a proof certificate ID. I have there's a date that it was sent, and I've used some tokens. Tokenization is pretty core to our platform. Anyone has any questions on tokenization? We're going to run out of time, as we do every time on this demo, but we're always happy to field questions offline, and we do very often. So just give us a shout on Telegram. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the certificate. and we can see here is all the data we submitted. Here's our seal, and here is our certificate. Now, certificates are fairly customized to the proof requirements of the organization we're working with. In this case, we have a flag to say that it was verified and a transaction ID to represent a transaction on the blockchain. But the fields that can be in this proof certificate are really tailored to what you require. The main point is that we store the seal immutably on the blockchain, on our private blockchain, and on a public blockchain. And so we have the immutability there. And the way you want to prove that is down to what we identify with you as an organization. So I think that's just about out of time, or maybe a little bit over. That is Evident Proof. Please do get in touch on Telegram. We love to talk to you. Cheers.